3, 2, 1, boost, let's go. There we go. Yes. That is better. This SUV has been on the market since 2016. I remember when it first came out, there's a lot of hype around this car. And to this day, it's still one of the best and most comfortable SUVs you can buy. Welcome back, everyone. Today we have a 2023 Volvo XC90 B6 Ultimate. And as always, we're going to take a look outside the car, check out its interior, go for a test drive, do some 0 to 60 Dragy tests, and I will share my summary and impressions to you at the very end of the video. Meanwhile, let's get started. This SUV has been on the market since 2016. I remember when it first came out, there's a lot of hype around this car. And to this day, it's still one of the best and most comfortable SUVs you can buy. This specific B6 comes with every option that is available, and it stickers around $70,000. All right, let's jump in the back here. We are greeted to super comfortable seats. I'm 6'2", there's plenty of space. We got the cup holders here. All the materials feel superb. So the leather, the smell, everything is quilted, stitched. We got the shades, the vents here, heated seats, anything that you want. The charger, phenomenal. And 7 years later, this SUV is still one of the best that I've ever seen. All right, let's close the windows and enjoy the absolute quietness of this interior. It is so quiet in this car. The seating position is excellent. You can see everything around you. I love the fit and finish here. I just can't stress that enough. We have our armrest, storage bin. We have our glove box here. I love how Volvo implemented this glass shifter which lights up at night and looks spectacular. The infotainment that you see here is actually the new updated Google Census. It's not the old system that Volvo used to use, but it's still very intuitive. I personally enjoyed it. I think it's great. We got our Apple CarPlay, our Android Auto, heated ventilated seats, heated steering wheel. All the settings come here. So in this one specifically, since this is not the recharge, we don't get any special modes, you know, no sport mode, nothing. Just the standard drive mode and the steering feel. With a swipe of the hand, we open the sunshade. We got the Harman Kardon audio system here. 3 memory seats for each side. And I will say this, the music here is incredible. Took this car on a road trip yesterday. to the beach. It was the 4th of July, so me and my friend had to go to celebrate, and we came back after all these hours of driving and our backs felt fresh, so we were not even tired. We pressed the pilot assist and the car just drove. You just have to put your hand like this and enjoy the ride. This is the kind of SUV that you buy to take your family on trips, to get your kids to school. You don't buy this to win drag races. It's got plenty of power for what it is. It's not gonna blow your mind with acceleration, but this is not the kind of car that you buy for that. You buy this just to enjoy the driving experience. The steering feel here is good, but it's light, and I like it personally. It's very relaxing. You can steer it with just pinkies, and it does not feel like a 5,000 pound truck at all. It drives like a small sedan. The only time where you actually feel this weight is when you're taking a corner. That's when you can feel the weight. The heads-up display is clear, easy to read. You got the speed limit projected there too. The directions are also projected when you put on the GPS. And you can have directions here and also have your Apple CarPlay working simultaneously while you see the directions, which is super convenient. So you can have Google Maps navigating you here and have Waze open here. The cabin isolation is top-notch, A+. You cannot hear any road noise, no wind noise. It's quiet in here. It's a quiet cabin. You can just like whisper. You can whisper. The wipers here also are of a unique design. They have the washers built into them. The armrests are excellent. Leather is everywhere. Like anywhere you touch, you're gonna find top grade materials. The engine is quiet too. You can hear just a little bit of the 4-cylinder, but not much, just a bit. And there's lots of torque down below. So you add in a little bit of gas and you're going. Just like that, effortless. One thing I did notice with the transmission here is that it has sort of a 2-step way of downshifting. So when you're driving and per se you press the kick down switch, if the car is at 2,500 RPM, it's gonna downshift to 3,500, and then in half a second it's gonna go to 5,500. So see, like, I will demonstrate when we have some open space. That is the only thing you got to get used to, so you have to kind of realize it's a 2-step process. So look, if I'm pressing the gas, 1 downshift, 2 downshifts. So it does downshifts in 1-2 sequence. It doesn't go to the right gear right away. So knowing that, what you want to do, if you know that you're gonna want to go fast, is you add in a little bit of throttle to get it to per se 3,000, and then you add in the gas, and that's when you're in the right gear. So don't just mash it like this. If you just mash the gas, it's gonna take a while to get down there. But if you pre-plan it, 1, and then press it, it's gonna go to the right gear. So that's great. But you don't usually have to do any of that. I mean, there's lots of torque from the engine, and you got the battery as well. So on the low end torque, it does feel torquier than than the T6. The T6 did feel a little bit different on the transmission. Like, it would downshift to the right gear much quicker. I wanted to try the new T Recharge, see how that drives, because that is supposed to be a fast car. Like, it's supposed to do 0 to 60 under 5 seconds. The handling here is precise. It's light, and it's super comfortable. So this is exactly the kind of handling that you want when you're taking a road trip to Florida. Out of all the Volvos I've driven, this probably has one of the best brakes that I've seen. There has been zero fade from them, even after quick stops. No issues at all. Because on some Volvo models, the brake fade can be quite noticeable, but not in this one. This one was great. And given all its mass, look at how well it still takes the corners. Like, look at this. You can hear the turbo. This is lovely. But the main thing that I want to praise here is praise is the suspension and the seats. Those are the main, actually, two things that I want to praise. The seats are one of the best that I've ever been in. I do take a Volvo XC60 on trips here and there occasionally, but the seats in the XC90, I don't know, they just feel really different in such a good way. Like, not saying that the S60 seats are bad, they're really good, but this is a grade above in comfort. You got the ventilation, which works perfectly. You can feel it right in your back. It's very smooth and gentle, and it does the job well. So throughout the whole trip, not a single time was my back wet or anything. It does the job so well. I like the infotainment layout. It's clear and crisp to see. You got your map, your RPMs, your speed. There's nothing distracting here. No extra information that you need. In my opinion, this is the most underrated SUV there is on the market. Because for $70,000, before any rebates, loyalty, Costco, dealer discount, you could potentially be getting this for mid-60s. A 7-seater, full-on luxury SUV with the best world safety, Napa seats, heads-up display, Harman Kardon, everything that you would want. You're getting it for pretty much $30,000-$40,000 less than what the competition is asking. If you want to take an X7, you're going to be paying at least $95,000 for something similar equipment-wise. And again, i drive 8, it's to a certain taste. You know, you either like it or you don't. This is much more old school and simple, so for those who don't like all that extra tech, you know, all these extra features, gadgets that you want to learn, this is the way to go, because here it's just so simple. You got one menu, your music, your Apple CarPlay, your car status, and your maps. Boom, you click it, you're there. You can press the voice command and that's it. You can also do everything from there. You have a simple outlay here, and that's it. You're good to go. You don't have to worry about any adjustments, any certain features, none of that. Just get in and go. Very intuitive. When you're adjusting the seat, you also get the seat menu where you can adjust your thigh extension, your lumbar, your side lumbars, and you can see what you're doing, which is neat. So you see, we downshift one time, and now I press the gas, and now I'm going. Boom. So you just got to get used to that two-step process that I was talking about. If you can understand how it works here, you're going to be very effective using the throttle here. It's definitely not the conventional way how most cars are, but if you can get used to it, you're good. It just takes a little practice. You also have the manual mode. But in 6 hours, actually more than 6 hours, 7 or 8 hours worth of road trips, I mean, I came back feeling completely fresh. I was not tired at all. And at higher speeds per se, once you're going past 90, it feels super refined. Very smooth, comfortable, enjoyable. We're gonna measure the 0 to 60 as always, just for the heck of it, but I don't really care how fast the 0 to 60 here is. It could be 7, 8 seconds. Who cares, man? Like, this is not the car you buy for the seconds. You buy it because it's amazing, because it's safe. It's one of the best SUVs safety-wise that you can buy in the market, and you know, just transfer your family where you gotta go. Personally, if I was getting this one, I would equip it to be the T8 Recharge. Because again, if you've watched my channel for a while, you know I love fast cars, and I would go for the T8. But this has plenty of power to do what you need to do, no problem. The steering wheel is really a gem. It's two-tone. You want to always be touching it. It's quilted. It feels so good in your hand. Amazing. All the buttons here are top notch. They feel good. Every single part in this car that you touch feels upscale. There's not a single piece that I have found that doesn't feel upscale here. Everything just feels so well made. I sat in a Mercedes S580 the other day, brand new one, $143,000 sticker price, and this actually felt better built. When I touched the Mercedes panels, it would all like squeak here and there. You know, when I touched that menu button, the button menus here, it would go in all together. I personally didn't like the outlay. I didn't like the screen, which was tilted in a weird way. This here feels more luxury to me than that S-Class did for $143,000. And people are, you know, obviously complaining about markups, and I complain about them too. But if you don't want to pay a markup and you actually want to get a car under MSRP, this is your partner right here. This is what you got to get. Because these, like I said, you can find these easy for $5,000–$6,000 off easy MSRP. And Volvo gets to throw you in a complimentary 3-year maintenance as well, till 36,000 miles. So everything beside your wear and tear is covered. You got your oil changes, you know, filtered, whatever you got to do, it's all covered by the Volvo prepaid maintenance plan. And you don't have to pay $1 for it. When I say prepaid, that means Volvo already prepaid it for you. All right, well, let's hope Dragy works. Nope. Well, looks like our Dragy's dead. I can't charge it because I don't have a USB charger, but I guess we just magically relocated and the Dragy is working. So, ta-da! Now we can actually check the performance of the car, check the speedometer accuracy, and continue with our usual test. Don't ask me how I did this, but this was magic. Our Dragy's still trying to find its satellites, so we'll let it do that for now. We'll let it get the satellites. I gotta say, I love the ventilation. It ventilates the whole seat everywhere. So, Dragy's ready. We're gonna do our speedometer accuracy test. So at, well, 31 is 31. Let's go up to 60. So 45 is 45. 50 is 50. I've noticed with a lot of newer Volvos, their speed is like right on point with the GPS speed. There's no discrepancy whatsoever. So at 78, we see 78. At 80, we see 80. At 81, 81. It is right on the dot. So what I'll do for the first run is we're actually just gonna go with the first run from idle. So no brake boost, no extra tools for this. We're just gonna go pedal to the metal. I'm not even sure if I can turn off the stabilization control here, the ESC, whatever they call it. Okay, let's check the U-turn radius. This is a good radius. It's actually better than a CT5V Cadillac, ironically. You'd be surprised. All right, let's do it. All right, All right, 3, 2, 1, let's go. Let's go. It does that nice pop at the end. All right, so we did 7.7 seconds. And we did 15.5 on the quarter mile at 91 miles an hour. So this performance is similar to a 4-cylinder Altima 2.5, about the same time, same trap speed, which is not bad for such a heavy SUV. And given that this is a hybrid and a turbo, you get much more torque all around the range. But this time, we're gonna let the car cool down and we're gonna try with the 2-pedal method. So I'm gonna boost it and we're gonna go again. And I'm hoping this time that is gonna be better. We will do a much better time. Because now the start-stop system was working and the engine was off and we pressed it and we started accelerating. But even with these numbers, I don't really care. I mean, it still has great performance. So now we will turn off the climate system completely. Boom. Disable it, just to make sure nothing gets in the way. And we will try one more time. All right, let's do our U-turn radius test one more time. All right, we got it. 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 All right, let's. Alrighty. Okay, let's let the car through and we're gonna boost. Have my pedal all the way to the floor here on the brake. Okay, so, all right, 3, 2, 1, boost, let's go. There we go. Yes. That is better. 7.1 seconds verified, 7.16. Yes, this is way better now. Boom. Yeah, this is way better. We did the quarter mile at 15.15. Perfect slope, 0.07 at 90, almost 94 miles an hour. So we did a 15.15 at 93.93. Again, if this was a cold day, we would probably be at about 95 miles an hour, let's say, maybe even 96. Again, today is 90 degrees and it's very hot and humid today. The DA is awful. And we still did a flat 15.15. I love how the numbers lined up, 15.15 and 93.93, which is lovely. But excellent time, excellent performance. So our 62 to 100 came in 9.7. Okay, all of these are verified. When people ask me, they say, hey, like this is a sloped incline, you can't really measure your 0 to 60s here, you're gonna be invalid. No, it's a very valid slope. It's just Dragy sometimes captures the slopes differently. I don't know why, probably because of the signal strength. So nevertheless, great numbers. Let's shut off the Dragy and we will keep going on our test. Okay, the Dragy is gonna be off now and let's keep going. All right, so time for the highway test. A little bit of background history about Volvos. With me personally, I used to own a 2005 XC70 wagon. It was a 2.5T. I bought it off a Philadelphia auction for 800 bucks. And I was thinking, wow, that's a good deal I'm getting. You know, the car has 195,000 miles, the body's excellent, interior's in excellent shape, it's meticulous, like a new car. And I drive to the auction that day and I'm standing in line. And there's a Russian guy next to me. And he tells me, he asked me, he says, what are you buying? And I said, 2005 Volvo XC70, you know, bought it for 800 bucks. And he tells me, man, you're not gonna make it. I said, what do you mean? He said, well, you're not gonna make it back to Maryland. And I said, why do you think so? He said, well, because I know. I have my own service shop nearby. He said, bring in the car once you get in. Let me at least take a look at it, give you like some fresh oil or something before you head out on your journey. And I thought that's, you know, very wise, reasonable. It is a 3.5 hour drive for me. So why don't I actually check out the car before I head out as an inspection? Get a, you know, fresh filter, fresh oil, and I drive it into the service. By the way, I will attach the name of that service in the description below. It's called Golden Star Auto Sales and Service in Philadelphia. I really love that place, and seriously, they have some of the best work. They find cheap parts in great condition, and you could probably save, I don't know, 70% off dealership labor there and the parts. So whatever could cost you here like $7,000 in Maryland to repair will be like maybe $1,500 there. So the FYI, I will attach it if anyone is interested. They're not paying me for advertising or anything. I'm just doing it because they're amazing. And shout out to David, the owner of that place. Anyway, so David looks at my Volvo and says, your whole undercarriage is leaking, like everything under the engine. Your water pump is gone. There's an oil leak. There's a lot of issues. So we were looking, and the whole underbody carriage was just broken through. The car had barely any oil left in the reserves. It needed new struts. It needed an axle. A lot of parts needed to be replaced. So I left the car there that day, came back the next day. He did all the work. Great work. Found all the parts. I paid a very cheap price for the repair, maybe what, like $750 or something altogether, and that's including the oil change, the filter, and all of that. So he got me back on the way. I drove that Volvo home, the whole adventure, and I really enjoyed that XC70. That 5-cylinder sound, those seats, they're spectacular. And every year in Pennsylvania we have this thing going called the Carlisle Auto Show. And I drove that Volvo there, and the AC was not working, leaking. For some reason, it wasn't holding the fluid. And the transmission, once it got hot, it would start to jerk really hard, and I would feel that the car would die any moment. Just the transmission would just vomit and be gone at that point. It's I don't know, it was just something going on with that car. And you know, it still made it to Carlisle. I had to do a few stops to let it cool down, but we still made it there, made it back, and I put another good amount of miles on that car before I sold it, and I came out even with what I bought it for, what I invested into it. I still came out even. And that was still one of the best experiences I've had with these older project cars. So much fun. And back in college in 2017, I used to sell Volvos myself as just a car salesman on the weekends. And I've never really thought that one day I would buy a Volvo and I would actually love them a lot. And these XC70s, they were brand new back then, just a year out. And I sold a lot of them to customers, and I drove them here and there, but I've never felt a specific love for them. Like, I was neutral to them. I said, they're so-so, 4-cylinder, I don't really see what the point of it is. But 6 years later, being at an older age now, and having driven this car for a good 6 hours, I just kind of came to realize why these Volvos are so amazing. They are so comfortable, so efficient. Like, we used up maybe half a tank on the journey. It was amazing for this kind of truck. And all the maneuvers were easy, effortless. And this is really all the power you ever need just for comfortable trips. Of course, we have all these, you know, Tesla Plaids, blah, 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 but unless you're trying to just kill yourself and your family, I mean, stay with this kind of power level. This is all you really need for safe driving. And these seats, these are one of the best seats I've been in. One of the best. And my friend, who has never been a Volvo guy, he was riding with me, he fell in love with this car too, just with how spectacular this car is. It's magnificent, and I don't have enough words to praise it. And this is one of the only cars that still stands virtually the same way it was back in 2016, just with better software. I love that Volvo hasn't changed anything about this car. They haven't changed the design that much. They're keeping everything authentic in this XC90. Unfortunately, a lot of other you know, car brands have been going like all screens, like full screens, no physical buttons. Again, some people like that, some don't. I mean, I personally love this layout. I think this is gorgeous. The wood is great. Incredible SUV, I'll just say this. Very safe, perfect to get the errands done. Just perfect road trip car. As far as the highway drive that we did, it sails on the highway. It's very smooth, handles well, maneuverable, visibility is great. 10 out of 10. Anyway, so this will wrap up our test drive for today. I hope you all enjoyed it. Make sure to smash that like and subscribe button. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And till next time.